should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better. Don't even know where to begin. If I allow myself to dream, will it be as good as it seems? Pull me out of this place in the middle, nothing more to embrace in the middle, If I try to climb up the wall, everyone can see when I Take me up into the mountains, send me off into the wild. Misery is still a path I would choose if the alternatives are worse. I guess it's time to find a friend, one who will stick by to the end. Going out of my mind in the middle, wasting all of my time in the middle, I take a bite and spit it out, unaware of what it's about. I'm not that good at faking it. I feel somehow I've broken it. I don't believe I'm part of it. In the If I try to climb up the wall, everyone can see when I fall. Nothing really matters at all. Pull me out of this place in the middle, nothing more to embrace in the middle,
Sorry, y'all. I went to get coffee real quick, and my coffee pot wasn't on, so I'm not real happy about that. Hold on. Play.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey, y'all. I hope you are doing good today. I am already getting angry with my computer internet service. It's good to see you. Tony B, nice to see you. Good afternoon. Southern Cats, Jenny Jen, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate you so much. Nona Rocks and Southern Cats. Karen, good to see you. Tom is in the house. Good to see you. Lori Ann, good to see you, my love. Thank you for being here. Snarky Pants, good to see you. Karen said, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is having a blessed day today. Finally got some of the furniture moved out of the house and gave it to my friend. Still trying to arrange new stuff. That is awesome. I love getting new furniture, or new to me furniture, as I get sometimes. I love it. I love to refinish stuff too. Car, good to see you. Thank you so much for your help yesterday. You are freaking amazing. I really appreciate what you did for me. Miss King of Anything, good to see you. Edith, good to see you. Jenny Jen, A1 from day one, good to see you. Thank you for being here, my love. Edith again. Kat, good to see you. And Cindy from sunny South Florida. Cindy from sunny South Florida, good to see you. Abella is in the house. Good to see you. Katie, good to see you. Thank you for being here. And Michael Green Chile Chicken, good to see you. You love all of my graphics while the opener plays. Thank you. I did that on CapCut. I need to make a new one, though. I need to update it. I really do. Y'all, I probably don't even match today, but I don't care. Look at my pants. I am in my comfy clothes today. This here day. I'm going to be comfortable. Whoop, 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 whoop for the comfy clothes. We're lucky I got pants on at all. Crochet King Queen, good to see you. And Addie V, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Hey, hey, baby. What's up, baby? What you doing tonight? All right, let me stop playing around. Thank you so much, Michael Green Chili Chicken. I really appreciate it. It was pretty easy on CapCut. You should check it out. Yeah, I know. I love to see the familiar names and new friends. I love it all. I am making this announcement not to try to push memberships necessarily, but we will be doing a giveaway towards the end of the month. I want to give everybody who wants to be in the giveaway time to get a membership. I will be giving away, there will be 3 winners. We're going to be giving away the stuff that Abraham sent, and I'm going to make some stuff too. I'm going to make like my all natural Botox and like some other things. I've got some things around here that I would love to give to y'all. I'm going to also try to do some wood burnings. Pardon me, my cartilage piercing is like pressing into my head because I have my earring in it and it was killing me. Brain fart. Oh, wood burnings. I'm going to work on some wood burnings to throw in there, some natural stuff. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. I do ship internationally. I don't mind that. If you win, you win. I will ship it to you. I will not ship basil. I can't do that. That is my emotional support rabbit. I cannot live without basil. I love him so much. Or my geese. I do not ship them, but there will be 3 winners and I will ship it to you. So if you are not a member, and you have 3 weeks to become a member before we're going to do the drawing at like the end of the month. And yeah, I'm going to figure out how to do that and we'll do it. If I have to go through my list of members and like print out the list and cut it out and then put it in some kind of container and shake it up, we'll do it. We'll figure it out. Stephanie, good to see you. Yeah, Abraham sent stuff. We were supposed to do it for Christmas, but with us moving and everything, it was just crazy at Christmas. Everything was crazy. We need a basil video. We do need a basil video. We definitely do. I will work on that. I sure will. I sure will. All right, let me write down my timestamp. I'm not feeling the best in the world today, but we're going to go through this information that I have and talk about it because I'm the communities of Chickasha and Cement in Oklahoma came together, and it was just a beautiful thing to witness. It really was. And there's pictures from the Cajun Navy. There's all kinds of information that has come out since RJ has been located safe. I am so excited for that 12-year-old to finally get to understand what it's like to be a 12-year-old. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about these charges that the parents got, stepdad tried to self-delete in jail, and they said, no, sir, you're not doing that. You're going to go to court for what you've done and face a jury of your peers, as is everybody's right in these here United States. So let's talk about it. You have an emotional support honey badger. that should be interesting. I'd like to see that. Skip to him, and don't forget to pack his snacks. He gets cilantro or parsley or kale every day. One of the three. He gets crackers. When I eat lunch and I make quesadillas quite like every day almost. He gets a tortilla that I fried in butter. He is so spoiled. All right, let me write down this new timestamp. All right, let's talk about the things. We're going to go back to the article I had from one day ago, and we'll go ahead and talk about the United Cajun Navy and what we have from them. Oh, it's this one. I wanted to read this article. Some of you, I might have read some of this yesterday, but since I had to private the live because it was so horrible with the tech issues, I'm going to read it again. So some of this stuff is brand new though that we just found out. So this article reads, I had to wipe his tears. Missing 12-year-old missing since January 2nd was found safe by 2 volunteers from Texas in Caddo County, Oklahoma, making an emotional moment for the rescuers who are fathers themselves. Quote, he was apologetic, terrified, super scared, like he was going to be in trouble. We reassured him this wasn't his fault. He's safe, and gave him a big hug, one of the volunteers said. Quote, we had to get a tissue and I had to wipe his tears. Unquote. Isn't it just, that poor baby thought he was going to be in trouble. And I think that's why, even though, okay, I've heard that he was like a mile from the hotel. I've heard a mile from the hotel where he went missing. I've heard that he was closer to the family's home. If we jump over here real quick, and we'll look at that in just a minute. This is them bringing him out of the hotel. If you notice the hotel, it's going to be the hotel. Oh, let me make it. Hold on. There we go. If you pay attention to the hotel, you will see that it's the same hotel he disappeared from, and that's a Chickasha ambulance. So I'm leaning more towards believing the original reports of that he was about a mile from the hotel that he went missing from originally, but people are saying he was closer to his parents' house. I don't know why they would go from Cement all the way to Chickasha to a hotel there to get the ambulance to come, but you know, they could have. I don't know. I want to share this with you guys while we're talking about his recovery. This is the first video they put out, and this is basically him being turned over from the United Cajun Navy to the police department and to the ambulance to go to the hospital to get the help that he needed. The United Cajun Navy located him, helped him, you know, gave him a big hug, breathed a sigh of relief. Then they took him to the hotel where they contacted the police, and they came, and RJ was safe. Maybe out there like that. Now you can see this sheet here. He's behind that sheet. Am I fuzzy? Well, I'm going to keep trying. Hey, Abraham, good to see you. I know, it's so good that he was found safe. Thank God, Commander Alpha Turkey. If it gets too bad, I'll just type in chat and highlight it on the screen if you can't hear me and it's fuzzy. I don't know. I'm waiting on Starlink. That's the best I got for right now. I've unplugged everything in the daggum house. I don't know what else to do. Like, I'm just so upset. Thank you for being here, Commander Alpha Turkey and Abraham. Let me know if it gets too bad, and I'll just type, and we'll just do it that way. We'll go back over here. Let me see if I can. Hold on a minute. Actually, we'll just close that. Yep. We're going to jump back over here real quick so I can show you the pictures. These are the pictures of when he was located. That is him with the United Cajun Navy, one of the volunteers that found him shortly after he was located. Now, what stood out to me about this picture was, remember, the last thing that we heard was that he was in a black and red plaid shirt with jeans and steel-toed boots, but here he's wearing a fluffy jacket. Addie said, yeah, they're going to have to keep him hidden in respect to public curiosity. This is very touchy and could easily cause more damage due to the nature of abuse. I agree. I definitely agree. Audio is good? Okay. Yeah, I called Verizon when the shit happened, and they haven't fixed it. So I got to wait on the Starlink to come. There's another photo of the United Cajun Navy right when they found him. Yeah, maybe it might belong to one of the men who found him. That's a possibility. That makes sense. It does look big. Here with this volunteer, he's a little bit more standoffish, but with this one, he's like really right there and hugging him, and he seems to be smiling. So I think this might be the person who they were talking about, that, like, you know, he had to give him a hug and wipe his tears. I think it might be this searcher in particular. And then there's the other searcher that located him. And then there's the photo with both of them together. That was right after he got found. He was located. Which I wrote, we have so much, this was yesterday, we have so much to talk about with RJ. His momster and step monster got hit with 20 more charges, and dear old stepdad tried to self-delete. We will go over the videos and photos from the United Cajun Navy tomorrow and see what I found by then on these charges. And I do have some stuff on the charges. I'm so proud of the Cement and Chickasha communities for coming together like they did, and I know will continue to do for RJ. That was a beautiful thing, and I'm so glad we were able to witness that in real time. Please keep praying for RJ to have a safe environment for him to heal and finally have the ability to know what life for a 12-year-old is supposed to be. I cannot wait for him to actually get to be a kid and experience actual love. So I thought that was good. It's that searcher's coat. You think so? So that makes sense. Me too. I'm so happy he got found too. It is a an ending we don't get very often. So I'm super happy that he was located and that he is safe. The article continues. The volunteers found Davis around noon on Sunday while searching on foot somewhere indoors near where he lived with his mother and stepfather. They say indoors because he had shelter, yet he was alone. So what that says to me is that he was in some type of building or shed or something, probably abandoned property, abandoned maybe deer blind, abandoned lean-to, abandoned old farmstead or something out in the woods, because he was alone. Like, I don't think they found him, you know, with his feet kicked up watching TV. It sounded to me like he was out in the woods in some type of abandoned building, and that's where they located him. But I could be wrong. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation reported that he was not far from where volunteers had searched on Saturday at Lake Birchie. So again, with them saying that he was not far from where they had already searched Saturday at Lake Birchie, I think that people were out there calling his name, and he probably didn't come out because he thought he was in trouble, because they talk about, you know, having to wipe his tears. They said he came out with his hands up saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So he probably heard people calling his name and did not come out because he thought he would be in really big trouble. But as time progressed on and it was getting cold at night and he was probably low on food, he realized that It didn't matter if he was in trouble, he was going to have to come out. And he finally did. But thank God he did. And he realized and was told very quickly that he was not in trouble at all. Abraham, you're so sweet. I can't wait to do the giveaways. We'll keep doing them if you want to. Yeah, I'll definitely keep giving stuff away. Hopefully, Tom said, hopefully he's provided the counseling he is going to need to move forward with his life. I hope so. I know he will be. I know they're going to. The way that community came together, I have all the faith in the world that he's going to get all the help that he needs. I know it is. You are very talented. If y'all don't mind, if y'all would twinkle, twinkle over to the thumbs up, please.
Come on, players, stop hating. Stop hating. Start participating. Start participating, Star. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle, baby. All right. I won't play my clip anymore. Let me put that in the background. OSBI continues to investigate how Davis traveled from the Quality Inn in Chickasha, Grady County, where he was last seen on January 2nd. 2 men are with the United Cajun Navy, a nonprofit dedicated to life-saving rescue operations and humanitarian assistance. Officials said this was a community effort between search parties and people sharing information online and social media. Okay. Hold on a minute. So we've got an interview with the volunteers, with the Cajun Navy, where they talk about what happened a little bit. Here's one, and there's several on YouTube. Lordy, it's not letting me pause. Hold on a minute. Why do I not have volume either? Let me refresh this. Okay.
We're going to do it. Members of the nonprofit organization United Cajun Navy. Whatever we can do to help a child, we're going to do it. Members of the nonprofit organization United Cajun Navy were the ones that found RJ on Sunday.
I know he will.
They found him in what's been described as a shelter north of Cement, and not very far from this property where he lived with George and Kimberly Cole. If you have a skill set and you're able to apply it, especially for a good cause and anything that helps children. But a lot has happened in the short time since RJ was found. George and Kimberly now face multiple charges. Most of those are for abuse and sexual abuse.
The OSBI, the Chickasha Police Department, we're going to work closely.
I knew it was about to lay the ad. So while it does, I'm going to pause this and we're going to jump over here. Let's talk about the charges they are now hit with. So this is the state of Oklahoma versus Kimberly Cole, his mother. She is charged with felonies. These were filed on January 9th of 2026, and she's going to see Judge David Stevens. Kimberly Cole is the defendant. Jason Hicks is the district attorney. Benjamin Reed is the arresting officer, and the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation is the arresting agency. She has no attorneys listed yet. If I had to guess, she's probably going to get a public defender. So there are 11 charges right now. There are 3 counts of child abuse, A3. We'll look that up. 2 counts of child sex abuse, and it says A3. Aggravating factors, 3. It might be aggravating factors 3, but we're going to look it up and make sure. She's got 3 charges of child neglect, 1 count of conspiracy, and 2 counts of crimes against nature. Now, they have already sealed these records, so we're not going to get much more information than that, but here are some of the expenses. She's got entry fees, medical expense liability, revolving fund fee, 10% of DA revolving fund fee, Oklahoma Court Information System fee. Yeah, that's $103 for that stuff. File, enter record information. She's got another 103. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So she's getting charged $103 for each charge that they hit her with. Affidavit of probable cause of arrest. Document available, sealed document. And I've tried in the daytime with a damn flashlight to get those documents, but they sealed them immediately. But we at least know what the charges are, which again is 3 counts of child abuse, 2 counts of child sex abuse, 3 counts of child neglect, 1 count of conspiracy, and 2 counts of crimes against nature. Let's see what this A3 thing means. Hold on a minute. Let me type it in. Okay. L. Oh my gosh. Okay, class A3 offenses. Child abuse charge. The A3 in the context of child abuse charges in Oklahoma refers to class A3 offenses, which are serious criminal offenses that include a range of violent and harmful acts against children. These offenses are defined under the Oklahoma statutes and are considered severe crimes that carry significant penalties. The A3 classification indicates that the offenses are among the most serious under the state's criminal code, with severe consequences for those convicted. So it basically means that it's more serious. It's a more serious classification of each charge. So if we jump back over here, it's like one of the highest classifications of child abuse that she got charged with, one of the highest classifications of child sex abuse that she got charged with. And we'll look up the B1 and the C2, but these are probably felonies. I know she's got charged with some felonies, and if I'm understanding what I'm reading correctly, it's like she's getting a felony for each one. If I understand it correctly. Okay. Upon the effective date of this act, class 3, A3 shall include the following offenses. Aggravated assault, let's see. SEX abuse by a caretaker is in there. I'm looking for stuff yeah, here we go. Child abuse as provided for in subsection A of section 843.5 of Title 21 Oklahoma statutes. What does that mean? So let's look that up specifically. We're going to go back over here. We're going to X that. We're going to paste that. Okay, give me some information. Let's see. Okay, child abuse, child neglect, child sex abuse, child sex exploitation, enabling penalties. Any person responsible for the health or safety of a child who shall willfully or maliciously engage in enabling child abuse as defined in this section shall upon conviction be punished by imprisonment. I'm seeing willfully and maliciously engage in child neglect, child abuse, child sex abuse. Willfully and maliciously engage in is repeated in every single one of them. Willfully and maliciously. So I think it's going to be in that stat. We're about to read that, but I think that's what if we go back over here, it's going to be willful and malicious child abuse. Do you get what I'm saying? Willful and malicious child sex abuse, willful and malicious child neglect. Is that making sense to y'all what I'm saying? Hey, Forrest, good to see you. Anders, good to see you. And Max, good to see you. I was wondering because that seems to be a new trend. Now, she's not charged with that. We were reading the documents. But hey, Marilyn M., good to see you. But she's not charged with that, but it just talked about that. Now, if we go back over here. Nope. We need this one. Okay. Child abuse means the willful or malicious harm or threatened harm or failure to protect from harm or threatened harm to the health, safety, or welfare of the child under 18 years of age by a person responsible for the child's health, safety, and welfare, or B, the act of willful or maliciously injuring, torturing, or maiming a child under 18 years of age by any person. I think it's going to be a B. Looking for numbers because that might have told us something. A3, but 3 is child sexual abuse, and she's charged with that. So the A3 is not correlating with this. Torturing or maiming, the act of willfully or maliciously torturing or maiming a child under 18. So what I'm thinking is, with the great aunt coming out and saying that he was shackled to a rail in the camper and he was held there and not allowed to use the restroom and just like basically hanging there for days or standing there, not for days, but for an extended period of time, that is classified as torture. So if I had to guess, I would say it's going to be more along the lines of the B subsection in the child abuse under the Oklahoma law, the act of willfully or maliciously injuring, torturing, or maiming a child under the age of 18. And again, we keep seeing willful and malicious under this statute of Oklahoma laws, this statute. And when we just looked it up, we were given this statute specifically. These are just my speculations. Of course, I'm no lawyer. Then we have the child neglect, means the willful or malicious neglect as defined by the subsection of Oklahoma statutes of a child under 18 years of age by a person responsible for the child's health, safety, or welfare. Then we get child sex abuse, means the willful or malicious sex abuse of a child under 18 years of age by a person responsible for the child's health, safety, and welfare, which includes but are not limited to sex intercourse, okay, hold on a minute. Let me get y'all a trigger warning. Trigger warning, trigger warning. Big flashing lights, trigger warning. Here we go. Trigger warning. Okay. So child sex abuse could be any of the following: sexual intercourse, penetration of the front butt or the butt, however slight, by an inanimate object or any part of the human body not amounting to sex intercourse, sodomy, incest, or a lewd act or proposal as defined in this section. Now, we do know that Kimberly Cole is RJ's biological mother, so it would be classified under the probably incest subsection of that if I had to guess. However, they sealed the arrest affidavit, so it could be that and something else from this list. We don't have the arresting affidavit, which they're not letting us have to keep and protect RJ and to keep him safe and to protect him. But I'm going to follow this to court and eventually it will be released. So hopefully it should be anyway. I'm going to keep on this case and find out what I can. Then we have the definition for child sex exploitation, which they were not charged with. Incest means marrying, committing adultery, or fornicating with a child by a person responsible for the health, safety, or welfare of the child. And then the person responsible for a child's health, safety, or welfare would be the parent or legal guardian, custodian, foster parent, person 18 with whom the parent of the child cohabitates, things like that. And then it breaks down all the other things. Okay, so we need to see what, when we go back over here, oh, I got to pull it up this way because I closed out of that page. Now we got child neglect B1. Let's see what that is. MEG. I always hit my caps locks by accident. Child neglect in Oklahoma. Hold on a minute. It's not giving me much on the B1. In Oklahoma, child neglect is defined as the failure to provide adequate care, supervision, or support necessary for a child's health, safety, and well-being. This includes failing to protect a child from the harm or threat of harm, as well as actions that involve willfully or maliciously injuring, torturing, or maiming a child under 18 years of age. Child neglect can be a form of child abuse and is treated as a criminal offense under Oklahoma law. The legal consequences of child neglect can range from criminal charges to significant impacts on family law and child welfare proceedings. Hold on a minute. I really want to know what the B1 means. Child neglect, Oklahoma. I don't know if we'll get much more, but in Oklahoma, child neglect is defined under that statute and considered a criminal offense. The law outlines the actions or omissions that constitute child neglect, such as spelling. It's the same thing. I'm not getting anything on the B1 subsection specifically. Unless it's saying like, okay, this is B, and then if there's a 1. So if they're doing it that way, it would be B, any person responsible for the health, safety, or welfare of the child who shall willfully or maliciously engage in enabling child abuse as defined in the section shall, upon conviction, be punished by imprisonment in the custody of Department of Corrections not exceeding life, or by imprisonment in county jail not exceeding 1 year, or by a fine of less than $500. And then if we go to 1, child abuse, the willful or malicious harm or threatened harm or failure to protect from harm the threatened harm or safety and welfare of a child under 18 years of age. B, I really think it's going to go towards the torturing or maiming aspect of it. So if it's B1, it's saying any person responsible for his health or safety that willfully or maliciously harmed or threatened harm or did not protect that child, if they're doing B1 in that aspect. Do you guys get what I'm saying? I think so. Incest would be defined as blood related, but we'll look it up. Hold on a minute. Yeah, Jennifer Soto didn't even get charged with neglect, which is fucking fucked up. Let me put some money in my swear bell. I thought of some merch that references the swear bell. Let me put you back over here for just a second while we pull up the definition. Definition of incest, specifically Oklahoma. Sexual relations between close family members. In Oklahoma, incest is defined as sexual relations between close family members, including parents, siblings, grandparents, grandchildren, uncles, nieces, aunts, and nephews. So all of that would be blood related. The definition encompasses both whole and half-blood relatives, as well as adoptive relationships. So no, I was wrong. The law explicitly criminalizes incest under the Title 21, Section 885 of the Oklahoma statutes, making it a felony with serious legal consequences, including potential prison sentence of up to 10 years. So it's criminalized. It could be both whole or half-blood relatives, as well as, like, if I legally adopted a child and then slept with that child, that would be considered incest in Oklahoma as well. So I thought it was yes, but the answer was no. We're going to be rich. I want in. How are we going to get rich? Oh, yeah. We are going to be rich. Ringing that damn swear bell. All right. So again, these are her charges. There's 11 total. I think he got hit with 20, which we'll talk about a video from that when we get done. When we go back to the video we were watching and finish that. 3 counts of child abuse, 2 counts of child sex abuse, 3 counts of child neglect, 1 count of conspiracy, and then 2 counts of crimes against nature. We need to look at that conspiracy C2. Conspiracy charge in Oklahoma C2. In Oklahoma, conspiracy charges are serious legal offenses that can lead to significant penalties. The law defines conspiracy as an agreement between 2 or more individuals to commit a crime, with at least one conspirator taking an overt act to further the conspiracy. The penalties for conspiracy depend on the underlying crime, with misdemeanor charges carrying up to 1 year in jail and a fine, while felony charges can result in imprisonment for up to 10 years or a fine not exceeding $5,000 or both. Conspiracy charges can arise from various crimes, including drug trafficking, theft, and fraud. It is crucial to understand the legal implications and potential defenses against such charges. And the conspiracy, I think, is going to be to the fact that RJ was being abused and they both participated in the abuse. Yeah, I need a bucket. Tom said, I just want to hear the judge say life in prison with no chance of parole for all the crimes.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
And, you know, the way the community came together and the OSBI taken over in this case, it wouldn't surprise me if that's exactly what happens. That's what they deserve for that. Now, I will tell you, as I pull this up, the news is going to talk about him being hit with over 20 charges. Here, there is 14, but the news might have had a chance to actually look at the arrest affidavit before it got sealed. I don't know. I don't know if they sealed it immediately. They've got some information, and they talk about 20 charges he's hit with. He is hit with 14, while she's only hit with 11. He's got 8 counts of child abuse, with the A3 beside them, 1 count of child sex abuse, 3 counts of child neglect, a pattern of criminal offenses, and then a conspiracy. That pattern of criminal offenses might be like what I call getting hit with the bitch, which is habitual. So that would mean, like, if he has committed several misdemeanors, they can combine them and make them into felonies. If you continue to get charged with misdemeanors. For example, I had 13 or 14 misdemeanors, and you know, I got clean for several reasons. One of them being I knew that if I didn't stop committing crimes, because it got to a point to where, you know, they knew my face. I lived in a particular area. I was on drugs. You know, when you're on drugs, you usually stay in one area. You don't have money to move around. And I knew I was going to get hit with the bitch if I continued to commit crimes. So it was time to do something. That and several other reasons. It's usually several reasons combined. So he might have got hit with the bitch. I don't know. I'd have to pull up his previous criminal record, and I haven't been able to pull documents yet. I need to do that. My mods got me these documents. Now he's got a $103 charge for what appears to be each charge as well. So what is that going to be? Actually, you know, I don't even have to use my brain. I can use my phone. Hold on. That's $1,442 that he would have to pay for each one of the charges that he has. And if we do it for her, she's got to pay $1,133 for all of her charges. So he's got 8 counts of child abuse, 1 count of child sex abuse, and 3 counts of child neglect. Why is she only getting hit with 3 counts of child abuse, but 2 counts of child sex abuse and 3 counts of child neglect? 2 counts of crimes against nature. Do y'all remember what the crimes against nature was? 3 strikes is felonies usually. If you get 3 felonies, that third one you go to prison for life. Yeah, that's a hell of a lot of charges. For a hell of a lot of crimes. And I hope it keeps their asses behind bars. Yeah, Steam is what Mr. Speculating uses. Yep, they do. And I hope she is too. I really do. I hope they throw away the key so that RJ can feel safe, just like Lorianne. You know, they got hit with these charges after he got rescued. So I think he talked more about what happened. Hold on. It wasn't, bestiality could be considered part of it, Anders, but crimes against nature in Oklahoma reads specifically, in Oklahoma, crime against nature refers to certain sex acts that the state classifies as a felony when they are committed with a person or with an animal. The Oklahoma statute defines the crime as, quote, detestable and abominable acts committed to a person. The law does not specify a list of acts, but treats it as covering specific sex acts that are considered unnatural under traditional morality-based laws, especially when force, minors, or animals are involved. A conviction for the crime against nature in Oklahoma is punishable by imprisonment in the custody of Department of Corrections for up to 10 years. If the sentence is 2 years or more, the person must also serve a term of post-imprisonment supervision under conditions set by the Department of Corrections, which means if she got charged with 2 years for each crimes against nature charge, that would be 4 years total. She would also have to go on probation when she got out of jail. Detestable and abominable acts that are unnatural under traditional morality-based laws. So it could be the fact that it was incest. It could be the fact that it was a minor involved. It could be all of the things. People were talking about horses in the beginning, the first live we did on this, but I think they were confused with a different case. However, actually from 30 minutes ago, we've got an article or video on it. We can click over here and see what they say. They might say the same thing we just did, but we'll see what it says. What was I saying? Oh, it could be the fact that it's incest. It could be the fact that it's with a minor, like these things combined, made the crimes against nature law. And that was her booking photo from, she got booked January 7th at 10:25 p.m. And then stepdad got booked January 8th at 12:24 a.m. And yesterday, after RJ was found and they got hit with all those charges, he tried to self-delete. Let's see what this says, and we'll go back to our original video. Actually, let's go back to the original. No, we're going to stay over here. We'll go ahead and do this. See what they say.
Kimberly Cole, the mother of 12-year-old RJ Davis, who was missing for more than a week before being found this past weekend, faces 11 felony charges, including crimes against nature. But what exactly are crimes against nature? Oklahoma State Statute 21886 says every person who is guilty of the detestable and abominable crime against nature committed with mankind or with a beast is punishable by imprisonment in the custody of the Department of Corrections, not exceeding 10 years. The term crime against nature also falls under forcible sodomy in this Oklahoma State statute. It also says any sexual penetration, however slight, is sufficient to complete the crime against nature.
So we did not have that. Forcible sodomy or any penetration. So it could be related to that. Like there was some kind of sex abuse going on. Okay. Whether it be forcible sodomy or some type of penetration. And then you add the fact that it was done by the mother, or she was involved in actually abusing him. And that is considered incest. It would make sense that they are considering the crime particularly detestable and abominable, which would tell me, it all makes sense to me with the crimes against nature charge. Carr said, I'm speculating big time here, but I think it's going to get bigger than just Kim and George. I think George's dad, the convicted pedo, is somehow going to get brought up on these charges with this too. You think so? I don't know if he abused RJ, but generational abuse, I think, could be used with the stepdad as a mitigating factor in this. I definitely think they would pull him up that way, if nothing else. But if the stepdad's dad was involved in RJ's life, yeah. Well, Anders, in the beginning, a lot of people were saying that it was with a horse, but then they were saying that they think that's a different case, that they had gotten confused. So no, you're probably right, because people were assuming it was a horse in the beginning, and then we figured out through watching more videos and reading more articles that it wasn't specifically related to a horse, but we might find out down the road that it indeed was a horse. I don't know. Jerry says she can commit horrible crimes on a child, but can't handle the charges when caught. A true coward. And that was the stepdad. He's the one that tried to self-delete. Yeah, you can do all this. You can be with that woman and do this to her child, but then you can't handle that shit. And you look at his booking photo that we pulled up, and you can see how fucking, like, you guys were pointing out how scared he looks in this photo. I gotta wait a second for it to pull up. But he looks scared to damn death right there. That man is not happy. Like, he is a little bit fearful. And remember, we were speculating whether that had to do with the fact that child sex abusers don't fare well in prison, Hannah said, if you look at his bond conditions, his bond is set at $2.5 million. If he makes bond, he's not allowed to have contact with children, animals, or other witnesses. That's interesting. Why specifically animals? He's not. If you're talking about, is that in the Discord, Hannah? And are you talking about this case or something else? If you're talking about this case, I would, because he's not charged with crimes against nature. Why would his specifically say no contact with animals? I love the word certain and cretin and imbecile for these people. I do too. I think that's a perfect description.
Boom, 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 bop, bam.
Cretin imbecile. Like it. I like it a lot. I think he was involved somehow. I could be super jaded, but I really think he somehow manipulated some things that happened to poor RJ. It's a possibility. We won't know until court. In the article Cara put in, I don't know if I'll be able to grab it. Let me try to pull it up. Let me try to pull up our live, and then I might can grab it when you drop the link. All right, while I work on that, we'll go back to this and finish watching the United Cajun Navy talk about finding RJ. Okay, now I should be able to grab it.
DHS to make sure that RJ is put into a safe home, which he deserves at this time moving forward, of course.
And right after George Cole Jr. was in court Monday, the district attorney's office confirmed he tried to take his own life in his jail cell. He is alive and was taken to the hospital for further testing. This after.
So again, I'm going to back that up so you guys can hear that one more time.
And right after George Cole Jr. was in court Monday, the district attorney's office confirmed he tried to take his own life in his jail cell. He is alive and was taken to the hospital for further testing. This after local.
Right after they found RJ, he gets hit with 20 charges, 20 plus charges. Thank you so much, Hannah. I appreciate it. I'm trying to email it to myself now so I can pull it up. Right after he gets hit with 20 charges, he tries to take his own life in his jail cell. They find your stepson and you get hit with all these charges. I mean, and you try to take your own life. Like, tell me you're guilty of this bullshit without telling me you're guilty. In a way, I wish he would have succeeded. I don't want RJ to have to go through court. I don't want him to have to testify to the shit that was done to him, especially considering that trial will probably be like a year from now, and he will probably just have started healing from all of this. But I wish and I want him to face justice for what he did. I don't want him to take the coward's way out. But I hope that he hurt himself real bad and he has to deal with that and still live. Like, I hope he fucked himself up real bad, like something horrible. Like, he has to sit down to pee for the rest of his life or something. And he still didn't succeed. And he has to deal with that and still go to court and still be held accountable for what he did to him. That would make me a little bit happy. I went to a few different rabbit holes with this case. I learned some things about RJ's bio dad. Yeah, I was going to pull up what you have pulled on him, but I didn't know if you were saying that one was not the correct person or not. You'll have to let me know. Khaleesa Cat said, I wonder if stepdad is worried about what will happen to him with other inmates, being what charges are or can be. Very possible. Yeah, he even failed at that. No, I don't want RJ to have to go through that trial and testify. I hope that they'll put him on a TV where he doesn't have to look at these people ever again.
And was taken to the hospital for further testing. This after locals in Chickasha and surrounding Grady and Caddo counties spent the weekend searching and looking for any sign of 12-year-old RJ, a collective sign of relief when he was found alive.
I was worried that he wasn't. The longer it went, I thought, the chances are slim, but kept hoping and praying.
Both suspects are expected back in court sometime in April. For now, the work continues to put RJ in a safe home. In OKC, Jason Berger, KOCO 5 News.
I'm so glad that he's safe and that they're working to get him in a safe home. Hold on a minute. We'll go back to this. I think I might have skipped it. I don't know if it replayed or not, but let's go back to this. I hope he does, Anders. I really do hope he has to sit down and pee for the rest of his life. I hope he failed at trying to end it and has something horrible that's like a lifelong disability that he has to deal with from trying to do that. RJ's biodad had some restraining orders filed against him, and allegedly his biodad was in prison for some time. That was true. Interesting. So he might not be able to go with his dad. Thank you for that. Yeah, deliverance. Looking stepdad. I like the dueling banjos now. Tom said RJ saying, who's the bitch now, right? Commander Apple Turkey said, poor kid, his face is plastered everywhere. Yeah. And I thought about that, like, that's probably why they sealed the record, so it can't be out here, like, exactly what happened to him, so that RJ doesn't have to deal with everybody knowing exactly what happened. Eventually, it'll be out here through this trial and stuff, but hopefully he's in a place or area where it doesn't affect him in his everyday life for that information to be out here. Like, like kids at school can't find out about it or something to that effect. Y'all, I need some, hold on a minute. I got to put some wax in here because my diffuser needs to be charged. I got to get a different one. And I need some calming smells. Have y'all seen this? It's at the Tractor Supply. It's a red shed. It's like little snowflakes. I got the big jar. And it smells so good. That's what they look like. I don't know if you can see them, but it's like a little snowflake. They smell really good. I need some smell goods to calm me down. What is it? Scent therapy. I need some scent therapy this here day. I got a big red one too that smells good. This one is mulled cider and they're little apples. I got this one for before Christmas. Oh, I got a turtle in there. I must have packed him in there so he'd be safe. I have to sit on my desk. These are shaped like apples, but these are for like fall. I have to get some spring ones from the Tractor Supply. This yellow one came with my wax thing, not that one. There's a different one that came with it, and it smelled really good too. It was like, oh, here it is. Honey crisp cider. Those smell really good too. All right. Police said I look in RJ's eyes and see the pain in the things in his eyes that show he's seen things a child should never have to see. And I'm praying he'll be able to be put in a safe and loving home where he will get help. I know that community is going to make sure of that 100%. I really do. Who isn't involved with the family and has the means to get him the help that he really truly needs. Yeah. I think that's who needs him.
Against nature. Cole has also been charged with multiple counts of child abuse, child neglect, and child sexual abuse, and faces 1 count of conspiracy. George Cole, RJ's stepfather, has been charged with multiple counts of child abuse, 1 count of child sexual abuse, and 1 count of child neglect. For more information on this story, you can visit our website, koco.com.
So now we will jump over here and remember briefly the heroes who saved him. And we'll go to this playlist I have that's got a couple of videos. This is what I saw that said more than 20 charges filed against parents of Chickasha boys. So maybe they were talking about the mother's charges and the father's charges combined together made more than 20, because both of them combined together would be 25, I do believe. 14 plus 11 is going to be 25. Yeah, 25 charges total. Look at the difference between their expressions. He has fears in his eyes, and she, to me, has I don't give a fuck expression on her mugshot. Yeah, that's what I see too. She couldn't really give a shit less. And this man, that man right there, I ain't never seen somebody that scared. And when we go over when we looked at the original videos, he was very afraid of something. And we now know what it was. He was scared to death of something, and we couldn't figure out if it was the fact that they were going to find RJ deceased or if it was because they were lying. But she had sunglasses on, so it was hard to tell. Now, when we find out about the original charges when they go to jail, the police mentioned in the press conference after talks with the parents, they found out that RJ had been being abused. So again, I have to wonder if mom said, look, we've been doing some horrible things to him, and that's why he ran away. Because whatever, we did that, or since we've been doing that, he runs away, or we did that night and he ran away after that because of what we did to him. We are horrible people. Take us to jail, but please find him and just put him somewhere safe. If that happened, I could have a little bit of compassion for her. If not, fuck him and let him rot in hell. But either way, fuck him and let him rot in hell. But like it'll speak volumes to me if she said, this is what we did. We deserve to go to jail. So go ahead and put us in jail, but just find him and make sure that he's put somewhere where he will be safe. If she actually did that, then I can have a little bit of compassion. So this came out last night.
Yeah, guys. Now, between the two of them, his mom and his stepdad, we were talking 21 separate charges. His mom, somewhere in this building behind me in a jail cell with the district attorney's office, tells me his stepdad is now in the hospital. That's because when he returned from court, he came here back to his cell and he tried to kill himself. And then they brought him to the hospital. He was unsuccessful, undergoing treatment now. his own life.
Hold on.
Volunteers together to find 12.
Lord have mercy. I didn't mean to jump ahead, but it speaks volumes to me that it was after court. Did he get hit with those extra charges once he went to court yesterday? I haven't seen footage of him being in court either. Yeah, maybe that's the expression she has, the well, I'm fucked expression. Maybe. I think this is the video where she says his bio dad was in prison for 10 years. Okay.
Stepdad is now in the hospital. That's because when he returned from court, he came here back to his cell and he tried to kill himself. And then they brought him to the hospital. He was unsuccessful, undergoing treatment now. It took 9 days, multiple law enforcement agencies and hundreds of volunteers together to find 12-year-old RJ Davis. In that time, he made his way from the hotel where he was last seen in Chickasha to 12 miles away, back to the family's farm. He's now safe and healing from some wounds that could take.
Wait a minute.
He made his way from the hotel where he was last seen in Chickasha to 12 miles away, back to the family's farm. He's now safe and healing from some wounds that could take years.
It's just terrible.
So I'm wondering if, okay, again, with the being a mile away, I'm wondering if they got confused and said he was a mile away from the farm, since that's what everybody keeps saying over and over. Was he, I guess he was a mile away from the family's property. And if that's the case, yes, he was gone for 9 days, but did that child walk 12 miles? I mean, yeah, it's entirely possible to walk 12 miles in 9 days. Yeah. Did he do that? Or did somebody help him? Because I think about him saying that he knew that the sheriff said he would not have to go back with his parents at all and that they were in jail. Friday Stolen Spirits, good to see you. Said, listening, I'm really late trying to get ready for my son's therapies today and my birthday dinner tonight. I did click the thumbs up. Thank you for clicking the thumbs up. And happy birthday. Happy birthday, my love. That's awesome. I hope you have a good day and I hope you enjoy your day. I'm going to give you an amazing for the birthday. Happy birthday, Brady. I hope you have a good day.
Amazing.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Hey, AM. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. I sound like I was about to say, hey.
Thing. It's a terrible world we live in. And I think he went through a terrible ordeal, and I'm just thankful to God that he's alive.
Monday, his parents faced a judge. And while the exact circumstances still aren't publicly shared, his mom, Kimberly Cole, is facing 11 charges. 3 child abuse, 2 child sex abuse, 3 child neglect, 2 conspiracy, and 1 crime against nature. Her husband, George Cole Jr., is facing 10 charges, 8 child abuse, 1 for child sex abuse, and 1 for child neglect.
Now, since this came out, 3 more charges have been added. So I think RJ's speaking. Commander Alpha Turkey said they need separate prisons for people like this where they can have a free-for-all with each other. That would solve a lot of the issues with there not being enough room in prison. They need more room in the graveyard. Lisa said, I've also heard of inconsistencies where prisoners were homicided by others and guards either looked away or it was considered self-deletion. Maybe he got wind of that and was scared to death. Stepdad. Possibly. I mean, he might have tried to self-delete just so he wouldn't be killed. I don't know. That man looks afraid there, and I think it has to do with that, honestly.
Right after seeing the judge, Cole Jr. returned to his cell where the district attorney tells us he tried to take his own life. Cole was instead taken to the hospital. OSBI is now investigating.
Nope.
Both are expected back in court mid-April, all while the state works to place RJ in a safe home.
Hopefully they'll place him in a good home, and they'll take care of him a lot better than his mom and stepdad did.
Yeah.
All right, so stepdad's bond, Cole Jr., is now set for $2.5 million.
Yep.
If he does manage to bail out of that, he's going to have lots of restrictions. That includes a GPS device. He can't have any contact with minors, with witness, or with animals. Kim's, the mom, her bail is set for $1.5 million.
He's got a 2.5 million bail, and she's got a 1.5 million bail, which neither one are getting bonded out. But why do they mention animals specifically? Is there an animal aspect to this? Y'all, I don't even want to say this out loud. I don't even want to say, y'all, you know how the horse narrative was being pushed in the beginning? Like with him not being allowed to have contact with animals, is there a possibility that everything is sealed because of RJ being a minor and because animals were involved in what was going on? I don't even, like, I feel like God, I hope not. Like, I don't even, like, I just, I don't even know what to say. Jesus Christ. Yeah. On an island with never-ending mosquitoes and sharks that can like walk up on land and just come and like just bite to where you bleed and it hurts really bad and just do that in a different spot every day. But they don't die. They just keep getting bit by sharks and don't ever die. And they get malaria from the mosquitoes and they don't die. Like, that would be great. That's what I would pray for. You did. I appreciate that information. Stop it. I thought you said my wife. I was like, what? I hope it's not unsealed either. That boy is already all over the news. He doesn't need other kids knowing. Yeah, I don't think they're going to unseal it, but people will find out in court. I mean, and I'm going to cover it. I'm going to let you know what I find out, but hopefully, like, maybe they can get him a name change or something, or get him in a different location. I know his dad, they said his dad came from LA. I don't know if that's Los Angeles, California, or Louisiana, but if he is able to go with his dad, then he would be in a completely different state and nobody would know who he was specifically. So that's one way he could get out of anybody knowing, even when the court date happens and stuff is released. Louisiana. Yeah, so if his dad takes him down to Louisiana with him, nobody's going to know. Even if he says his name is RJ, nobody's going to recognize, like, in his school district anyway, like the kids at school wouldn't know about this and everything going on. So maybe his dad can take him to Louisiana, and that way, even when the court date happens, kids won't know that are in that area. I think there's something stepdad with the animals. Otherwise, why would that be listed? I mean, they're not going to say don't have contact with animals specifically if there's not something involving animals. And again, if we look at the original things that I have on their charges, right? George Cole is charged with conspiracy, and that's it, right? Kimberly Cole is the one that's charged with crimes against nature, which when we look that up, it could involve animals and minors. Sorry, let me remove that. See, she's the one that says crimes against nature. George Cole says conspiracy. So why would his specifically say if you're bond out, no contact with animals? Because he's just got the conspiracy charge listed at this time. And then, the other ones, which are child abuse, child sex abuse, and child neglect and conspiracy. She's the one that's got the crime against nature charge, which now is 2 crimes against nature, which is the only charge I've seen that specifically mentions animals. Hey, Kat, good to see you. Yeah, he had a criminal record too. Yep. Miss Baked, good to see you. I like your picture. Said people are so disgusting. What is wrong with people? Girl, I don't know. I'd like to beat the brakes off of that bitch right there, though. I know that. All right. There is a couple of accounts.
This child was found safe, and he's going to be he's going to have a great life moving forward.
RJ is safe. He is sound, and we stand by our promise. he will not go back to that property.
Breaking news, Oklahoma. The search is over. Ryan R.J. Davis was found earlier today over in Caddo County near Cement. The little boy was missing for 8 full days. Now, OSBI just wrapped up a news conference telling us what they've learned about the situation. Thank you for joining us. I'm Chantel Navarro. Finding a 12-year-old RJ was on the minds of lots of Oklahomans this past week. Dozens of people volunteering their time and efforts to help them in the search themselves. And now people want answers on how he was found. KOCO's Olivia Hickey spoke with investigators today at that news conference. Olivia, what have you learned?
"I'm sorry" were the first words that 12-year-old RJ Davis said to the two men, volunteers out of Texas, who found him in Caddo County earlier this afternoon, both of them being fathers themselves. They said finding him was such an emotional moment.
He was just apologetic. He was terrified. He was super scared, and it was like he thought he was going to be in trouble. And we reassured him that this wasn't his fault and he's safe. And then he just gave us a big hug. I had to wipe his tears.
Damn. And again, I think that maybe people in the community were closer than they realized to him, and he just hid and didn't say anything because he was scared that he would be in trouble. And I wonder if that's something his parents put in his head, like, you know, because allegedly he ran away October, November, and December. And I'm wondering if they said, you keep running away and you're going to get in trouble and the police are going to find you and they're going to take you to jail because you keep running away and you're bad. And so, you know, even though we're doing these horrific things to you, you better stop running away or you're going to get arrested and you're going to go to jail when they find you. Because for him to be that afraid, scared, I mean, he came out with his fucking hands up, y'all, hollering, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Like that child was scared he was going to jail. I mean, it's very evident. He's crying, he's afraid, he's terrified. They said terrified that he's in trouble. Hollering, I'm sorry, with his fucking hands up like a 12-year-old fucking criminal. So sad. I'm glad that they reassured him he was okay and that he was not in trouble. Oh yeah, it does. It does look like the area Abigail Williams and Liberty German were found. Nona Rock said this child has access to all these resources now is the only good thing that came of the publicity. Yep. I agree, and I think that he's finally in safe hands. Thank you. Yes, I was thinking the same thing. I'm a mama bear too, right? Ms. Bake said, poor baby, so sad. You think Don is responsible for Summer? I don't know. I think if Don or Candace or Katie or Chris or Seth were responsible for their children's disappearance, they'd be arrested. But, you know, then we have Stacey Wandra in the Michael Vaughn case, and it took 5 years, so who knows? I heard something on Sebastian this morning. I saw something. I'm going to see if I can locate it briefly before we go.
The volunteers say they found him around noon. We aren't sure where exactly, but it was somewhere indoors in Caddo County. OSBI says this was close to where his parents lived. OSBI says they're continuing to look into how he got there all the way from the Quality Inn in Chickasha, where he was last spotted before he went missing 8 days ago. The volunteers who found him are two men with United Cajun Navy, a nonprofit dedicated to rescue operations and humanitarian help. Officials
now, thinking about that, if he did walk 12 miles in almost 9 days, it's entirely possible. But unless he's been trained, like how to navigate the woods and somehow had a compass, he would have had to walk down the road on the side of the road to get there and just take the roads that the parents took to get from their home to the hotel. He would have had to, you know, do it backwards. And unless he stayed in the wood line beside the road, like if there's woods beside the road all the way there and he stayed in the wood line far away from the road but still followed the road, I don't know how he got there either. But What boggles me is him saying he saw the sheriff say that he would not have to go back to his parents' house. So if he saw him say that and he knew that, where did he see that at? Because I mean, it's not like there was a TV playing somewhere that he could watch, unless he like walked into a McDonald's or something, which I highly doubt. I mean, there's nowhere he could have gone to see that unless he went to somebody's house and somebody helped him. Tom said if those evil parents have one shred of decency in them, they would plead guilty and spare putting RJ on the stand to be questioned by nefarious public defenders. Yeah, but I don't know if they will. I think they're going to try to get out of the charges. I think Peter Hyatt believed it was the Proudfoots who had done something with Sebastian. Yeah, I've heard that. A lot of people believe the Proudfoots are guilty. Some people believe Seth's guilty. I believe that Sebastian was picked up by somebody online, honestly. Crochet Queen says hopefully he stays in safe hands and is not put with a family that wants to use him for money or to do foster care and be abused like has happened before. Turpin's is a case that was brought up here with foster parents abusing children who had just gotten out of an abusive relationship. I'm going to say the way that community came together, the Cement and Chickasha communities, the way they came together for RJ, there's probably somebody already petitioning to try to take him and keep him safe and get him all of the therapy that he needs. Maybe even the woman who started the search groups on Facebook. I don't know, but I think that he'll be safe. The way that community came together to look for him, I think that he'll be safe. Marilyn said RJ has survived his first win of many to come. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. If he had been seen, somebody would have helped him. Me too.
Say this was a community effort between search parties and people sharing information online and on social media. Now, the latest on Davis, OSBI says he is recovering, he is doing okay, and he will be in state custody. Investigators are now working on where to place him next, but they assure he will be safe and comfortable. In the meantime, his parents remain in jail on child abuse complaints. The investigation into this is ongoing. Reporting live in Chickasha.
So I have submitted a FOIA for the case, and they hit me back with the OSBI has jurisdiction over this. And the records are sealed, is what they're saying right now. Hannah said, personally, I don't believe any of the parents had anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance. I'm with you on that. I don't personally either, but I respect everybody's opinion. I don't either. I'm just going to go through these couple of videos I have.
Well, today, search crews found a 12-year-old boy in Oklahoma. He was reported missing from Chickasha more than a week ago. I'm sorry were the first words that RJ Davis said to the volunteers who found him in Caddo County this afternoon. They say being dads themselves, finding the 12-year-old alive was an emotional moment.
He was just apologetic. Yeah. He was terrified. He was super scared, and it was like he thought he was going to be in trouble. And we reassured him that this wasn't his fault and he's safe. Mm-hmm. And then he just gave us.
Watch him say, I had to wipe his tears.
It's a big hug. I had to wipe his tears.
Like, he's very matter of fact. And it's hard. It's like it's hard for him to believe that. I think this is the one we just watched. It's like it's hard for him to believe that, because it is hard to believe that he would be, thinking that he's in trouble for trying to get out of a situation like that, Karen said, I agree. I believe he was lured out by somebody he met online. Maybe just went out to the car to get, I think happened. Because Sebastian, if we're talking about Sebastian left without shoes. And I mean, you got to put yourself in that state of mind. Why would you walk outside with no shoes on in the middle of the night? Well, to get a charger out of the truck is what comes to mind for me. Now, if I think about being a young child and I have somebody online, and then you talk about the spectrum, where he might have been a little bit too trusting of people. I don't know specifically, but let's say he might have been a little bit more trusting than other kids would, or having the mind of like an 8-year-old instead of a 15, I do believe, year old. And then he's met somebody online and is like, let's use Minecraft for an example. I've got the new codes to get all of the things that you can get, all the skins or whatever. I don't play games, so I don't know. The graphics, whatever the fuck. I got a graphics card for Minecraft that will give you everything for free. And Sebastian believes this, and then the person online is like, yeah, just come outside and I'll give it to you. You don't even have to tell your parents. I don't want it anymore. I'm not interested in it. I'm not using it. So I'll just drive up and then you can just come outside and I'll give it to you, and then you can go right back in and your parents won't even know that you got it, and you'll have it and you can play all the games and do all the things for free. And he's like, oh boy, yeah, I'll do that. And he goes out there, and then instead of him being gifted some kind of game or something, they grab him. I think that's exactly what happened, honestly. Their own island to forge and enjoy each other. We should not have to take care of them. Yeah. There's plenty of islands out there that are uninhabited.
After days of searching,
I just want some like sharks that walk on land and bite them occasionally. That would be nice.
Hope and prayer, we can say that the outcome that we were all hoping for has come true.
Yep.
RJ Davis was found safe. Medical staff is still looking at him, but from what we've been able to tell so far, he is doing great.
After a week and a half missing, 12-year-old Ryan RJ Davis found safe in Caddo County today. This after multiple searches between law enforcement and hundreds of volunteers. And it was actually a couple of those volunteers that found him today. That's where we begin tonight here at 10. I'm Chantel Navarro. Volunteers with a Texas nonprofit found him near one of those same areas where people were scouring the past couple days. KOCO's Olivia Hickey was at a news conference today where investigators told us the latest. Olivia, what have you learned?
Chantel, I actually spoke with the two volunteers that found him, two men who came all the way from Texas for the search. Being fathers themselves, they said they took this mission to find RJ alive personally. And when they united with him, they said it quickly turned into an emotional moment.
What were his first words to you when you guys made contact with him?
I'm sorry. He was real apologetic.
Did he think he was in trouble?
I think he was more upset that we were out there looking for him.
12-year-old Ryan RJ Davis found.
He was more upset that people were out there looking for him. So how many times did he run away and the parents didn't say shit? I wonder. Like, is this obviously, if he ran away October, November, December, is this the first time that people actually came out and looked for him, and that's why he thought he was in trouble? Has he been running away and then eventually he would come back, and so mom was like, oh well, he'll come back when he gets hungry, like a fucking stray cat or something? What the fuck? It's just speculation on my part, but I have to wonder. Had a personal experience with adult going after my child started in Roblox. It's a very real plausible scenario, and Sebastian was prime victim. He was unhappy at home. Yeah, I agree with that. Commander Alpha Turkey said that RJ probably feels shame too, even though it's not his fault at all. And that's sad. You're probably 100% right about that, and that's sad. I mean, he does, because he's apologizing immediately. I'm sorry you had to waste your time to come and look for me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you had to take time out of your life to come look for me, is what I'm thinking, he was thinking in his head. And everybody else is just like, no, we want to make sure you're okay. This boy, God, I hope he gets the help he needs.
Sunday afternoon, shaken and terrified in Caddo County after disappearing for over a week, sending a wave of relief crashing through Chickasha. OSBI officials say he was found inside a shelter of sorts near Cement, near where he lived with his parents. He was taken to the Quality Inn in Chickasha, the place he was last spotted back on January 2nd. Community members applauded his departure to an area hospital, while responders covered him with a sheet. He came forward with his hands up to Luke Van Ryn and Thomas Gentile around noon Sunday.
He was just apologetic. He was terrified. He was super scared, and
it was like he thought he was going to be in trouble. And we reassured him that this wasn't his fault and he's safe. And then he just gave us a big hug.
I had to wipe his tears.
They drove up from Texas as volunteers.
Wait a minute. I might have had this wrong.
And he's safe. And then he just gave us a big hug.
I had to wipe his tears.
I'm wondering if he's talking about the guy standing beside him and not RJ. He had to wipe this guy's tears. I don't know. Nona Rock said the mother has a distant sort of haunting look. There's some serious history behind that blank face. Yeah, probably. I agree. And for her to be able to commit these crimes with her against her child. Yeah, there's some serious fucked up shit going on with her. Brandy, good to see you, love. Hannah said there was a predator hunter on Roblox who was shut down for being a predator hunter and reporting to Roblox. I've heard about that. He was talking about the man he was working with. So they framed it like he had to wipe RJ's tears. So I think he is talking about the man that he was working with when I looked at it again that time.
Thought he was going to be in trouble. And we reassured him that this wasn't his fault and he's safe. And then he just gave us a big hug.
I had to wipe his tears.
Yeah, he's talking about the man he was working with, not RJ.
Drove up from Texas as volunteers with United Cajun Navy, a nonprofit dedicated to life-saving rescue operations and humanitarian assistance. Being fathers, they say this mission hit home.
To say we're excited is an understatement. I mean, we've been on plenty of these. It's been the other way. So when you get to bring one home, it's it's pretty rewarding. It's quite the high.
Chickasha Police Chief Goebel Music.
Pretty rewarding, quite the high when you get to bring one home. I heard them say that they held a sheet up, and that was when they were walking him out of the hotel. They held a sheet up to like shade him or protect the public from seeing him as he was escorted to the ambulance to be taken to the hospital. Sincere experience at searching. I wonder if they had some specific supplies handy. Tell me about that. They found him like a jacket, some water, a blanket, etc. Yeah, I would love to hear some of that information, and I don't know if it's out yet. All I know is what they said at the presser. I will check their X page, but I want to hear some specific stuff like that too. Like, was that their jacket that he's wearing? What all they gave him? Yeah. Grown men wiping each other's tears. I know, Commander Alpha Turkey. It is the stuff they make Lifetime movies about. I wonder if they'll make a Lifetime movie about this. They probably will. That'll have a similar storyline.
Getting emotional when discussing the community efforts online and on the ground that went into getting RJ to safety.
Our community, regardless of socioeconomics, regardless of race, creed, regardless, they came together because a 12-year-old needed help. To me, that's what's important. I'd never seen and or heard of these three men. Somebody somewhere contacted them somehow, and they came to aid our community. That's what's important. So it means a lot.
Absolutely. I agree 100% with the sheriff there. I don't know. I don't think he had I think he went to a place that he hid at. Yes. When he was at home, when he was trying to get away from the camper and the property that his family owned, I think he had a place that he would go. I don't think it's something he built. I think it's something he found, something he came upon that he considered safe. And I think that's where he went. RJ was hoping his abusers wouldn't find him. Imagine being all alone in the world. Damn. Yeah. I mean, that's how he's felt for a long time. And he suffered a lot of abuse that was completely unnecessary. Yeah. When I was his age, I had a hideout where I had some food and supplies and blankets. Yeah, my kids have little hideouts in the woods where they'll take a blanket and like camping supplies and stuff. I I think that RJ could have done the same thing. He might have had a little bit of food there, not enough food to last a week, I don't think. And he might have had some camping supplies and blankets there, but I think it was a shelter he came upon. I don't think it was something he built. You think he had something set up to run away to? He might have made it. He is a little country boy, so maybe he did. I don't know.
OSBI says RJ is doing well and he will be in state custody. OSBI ensuring tonight that he won't be returning to the property or to his parents, who both remain in police custody on multiple child abuse complaints. Reporting live, Livia Hickey, KOCO 5 News.
And while RJ is in state custody, his mom and stepdad are sleeping at the Caddo County Jail tonight. Here are their mugshots: Kimberly Cole and her husband, George Cole. OSBI says the DA's office is still processing what kind of charges they will face, but we do know they were arrested on suspicion of child abuse and child sex abuse, both involving little RJ.
The OSBI, the Chickasha Police Department, we're going to work closely with DHS to make sure that RJ is put into a safe home, which he deserves at this time moving forward, of course.
Yes, he does.
Again, right now it is still too early to tell where for sure he'll go next. The jail website, though, shows Kimberly was booked for crimes against nature and George for conspiracy.
So we'll jump over here. Rachel, good to see you, love. Yeah. They're monsters. Kids figure out how to take care of themselves when they have to. Yeah, they do, Kalisa. So this reads, stepfather attempts to take his own life after learning charges in connection to Ryan R.J. Davis case. He is alive and was taken to an area hospitals where officials said he is undergoing additional testing, referencing the stepdad specifically. I don't know if that's going to play. Authorities say the stepfather is facing numerous charges in connection with the suspicious disappearance of a 12-year-old Oklahoma boy. News release that George called the step monster of Ryan R.J. Davis attempted to take his own life while in his jail. News release states he is undergoing additional testing. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation has been asked to investigate the incident. Shortly charged with several counts. Online records show that Cole was charged with 8 counts of child abuse, 1 count of child sex. States that he faces additional counts for a pattern of criminal offenses and conspiracy.
Suspect George Cole. Yeah, it's wild. I just got this release here from the DA's office, and it says,
don't start this shit.
That suspect George Cole Jr. actually attempted to take his own life right before he was supposed to go into court. He's now in the hospital. He's undergoing some testing while his wife is in jail right now on 11 charges.
RJ!
9 days after 12-year-old RJ Davis was last seen in Chickasha, volunteers found him back on his family's farm in Caddo County.
There's an aerial view of the farm, so you can see it's a pretty big plot of land. Allegedly, the horses are there for horse training, and then there's 2 campers and a bunch of junk cars in the back. And let him know that everything's going to be okay and show him what a real parent is. This breaks my heart. I agree, and I think a lot of the community is there with you, that the mamas in the community just want to hug him and let him know everything's going to be okay, and they want to show him what a real parent is. And that's why I have so much faith in that community, that they're going to make sure wherever he is put that he is safe, he is loved, and he gets to learn what being a 12-year-old is really supposed to be like. Oh, I read the Boxcar Children. I like those books. There were several of them, I think.
While we're still working To learn how he got there, we do know it's an area volunteers peeled through for more than a week.
I was worried that he wasn't. The longer it went, I thought, the chances are slim, but
Yeah.
kept hoping and praying.
Neighbor Vaughn Craddock believes those prayers were answered. He says he didn't know or realize what the boy was going through.
Wow, Nona.
Up until investigators arrested his mom and stepdad following his disappearance.
We just want our son back home. We want him back.
Now, Kimberly Cole is facing 11 charges, 3 child abuse, 2 child sex abuse, 3 child neglect, 2 conspiracy, and 1 crime against nature. Her husband, George Cole, faced 10 charges. 8 still working to learn the context of those charges. But earlier today, we learned that George tried to hang himself.
And specifically, he tried to hang himself. So there's probably not any irreversible damage done to him. The additional testing is probably on his deck to make sure that he didn't sprain his neck or anything. Commander Alpha Turkey said, I'm proud of RJ's strength and fight for self-preservation. I hope his mind and heart can heal. I do too, and I think they will. I think that is one tough little boy, and I think he's going to be just fine now that he's in an environment where he can be who he's supposed to be.
In state custody while investigators work the case. And while his future remains uncertain.
The OSBI, the Chickasha Police Department, we're going to work closely with DHS to make sure that RJ is put into a safe home.
All right, so quick correction right there. It was after Cole Jr. had his first appearance in court. Their next court dates haven't been set just yet. Obviously, we're going to stay on top of this. And as far as RJ goes, we're still working to learn where he's going to go next. He's in state custody at this time. We do know he is not going to go back to his parents. His biological father as well was in prison for the past 10 years and is out now. Live in Caddo County.
So there we find out his biological father was in prison for the past 10 years and is out now. Now it's going to depend on what that charge was, but unfortunately the biological father probably won't be the first choice. If they place him with his step aunt, the Tina, who knew what abuse was going on and was scared to report it because of what they could do to her, I will go and protest on their front lawn. I will be out there burning my bra because I don't want him to be back with her, because then what if they come by, or what if they threaten her in some type of way if they ever are out of jail? He don't need to be there. Yeah, they better not. They better not. Like, I would rather them place him with the biological dad instead of there. With the biological dad being in prison for 10 years, that's probably why he hasn't had much contact with RJ. But it's going to depend on the charges, whether he can have RJ or not. I think RJ should be given a chance with his dad, but I don't know what his charges were. I think it was a restraining order or something from what I saw. There was a restraining order entered or something. So it's going to depend on the charges, whether he goes there. If he doesn't go there, I know they're going to make sure, like the way the community is involved, and I know I keep saying that, but the community involvement in this case, they're going to make sure wherever he goes, he's safe. RJ needs to go to a foster home that knows how to help abused kids. Yeah. His bio dad is probably not ready or able to handle what RJ needs right now. Y'all are right. Y'all are definitely right. I mean, I want him to be given the chance, but I just want RJ. At the end of the day, what's important is RJ getting the help he needs. Jerry said, I pray he heals and finds the family he deserves and becomes the person his birth giver never gave him a chance to be. He's already overcome so much. This is his new beginning. Absolutely. Okay. I don't know if it played it or... There, it finally played it. Oh, maybe his grandma on his dad's side. That's a possibility. Yeah, it better not be like the Turpins. All right. I did have this, but I think we know most of what it says. RJ's biological mother and stepfather remain in custody. Authorities confirmed he will not return to them. The OSBI and DHS are working to ensure he's placed in a safe home. That's what's most important. The search efforts involved hundreds of people, including the Chickasha Police Department, Grady and Caddo County Sheriff's Office, Oklahoma Highway Patrol, FBI, and District 6 Task Force, and the United Cajun Navy coordinated the final successful search operation after days of coordinated efforts. It's unclear how RJ traveled from Chickasha, where he was last seen, to the location in Caddo County. He was found indoors, though the details of the setting remain part of an ongoing investigation. Authorities are still determining whether he had contact with anyone during his disappearance. OSBI acknowledged learning opportunities for improving coordination between official investigators and volunteer groups in future cases. Officials expressed deep gratitude and relief, calling the outcome, quote, the one everyone hoped for, unquote. The police chief emphasized how the community united across all backgrounds to find RJ. The discovery was described as a miracle and rewarding success story for those involved in the search. News 9 spoke with Josh Gill, the incident commander for the United Cajun Navy, Sunday afternoon. Gill said about 10 members from his team traveled from Texas to Chickasha on Saturday to help look for RJ. Members of this team also worked to find victims in the Hill County floods that happened in July in central Texas. After searching for about 3 hours on Sunday, 2 men from the United Cajun Navy team found RJ hiding about a mile from the Quality Inn in Chickasha. See? I think it was a mile from the parents' property because they're still trying to figure out how he got from Chickasha to the parents' property. But it said that up here in the article, right here, authorities are still determining whether he had contact. It's unclear how RJ traveled from Chickasha, where he was last seen, to the location in Caddo County. But right here, they're saying about a mile from the Quality Inn in Chickasha. So it's just not making sense. They said he was scared when they found him. Once the men assured RJ that he was safe, Gill said the boy gave his team members a big hug. Gill said he is extremely proud of his team and that the next concern is how the community can make sure RJ is taken care of. Investigators interviewed RJ mother, Kimberly Cole, and stepfather, George Cole. Both were arrested on multiple child and sex abuse charges. Authorities said the boy suffered harm at the hands of both caregivers, but did not disclose the details of the abuse. McKee with the OSBI last week said the home where RJ lived in Cement was very clearly not a safe environment for this child. Chief Music stressed that RJ will not return to the home if he was found. RJ's parents remain in custody and they're waiting a news conference with authorities later today for more information. So that's what we knew before the presser that we went over earlier. Hey, Mystic Firefly. Good to see you. You know, I think that would be very important, Abellis, is for them to ask RJ who he would like to be with and let him have say so in his decision and the decision he makes on where he wants to be. We're going to travel over to X and I'm going to pull up what I was able to find about the United Cajun Navy in reference to RJ. And then I have one place I want to look specifically for the Sebastian update to go over with you guys before we go for the day. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Please keep in mind this is X. Anybody can type anything on X. It doesn't mean that it's true. I'm going to switch my banner. So just keep that in mind as we go. Damn. Charleston White is reportedly in critical condition after being shot at 3 times this morning in Texas. That's insane. All right. So we're going to look at RJ Davis and then I'm going to look up the Sebastian update. So there you have the pictures that I shared in my post. It says his rescuers. These are the guys who found R.J. Davis, the missing 12-year-old Oklahoma boy. The men are volunteers with the United Cajun Navy and honed in on R.J.'s location around noon, the 9th of January. 10 days after RJ ran away from what investigators say was an abusive home life. His parents are now in jail on abuse charges. Investigators will now determine what happened while RJ was on the run. Just grateful he's alive because we don't get this result very often. Now, they've since said that he ran away on the 2nd and he was gone for 8 days. I've heard 8 days and 9 days. I think it was 8 going on 9. Forrest said, wherever they send this child, I hope the place is well vetted. Could you imagine if he ends up in another abusive situation? I know, and that's exactly what happened to the Turpins, you know? Carr said RJ might not want to be with anyone he knows, especially if they knew and didn't do anything because they were scared. Exactly. I think that's why what Abella said about him having a say-so in where he goes is important. I think he needs to be away from that area too. Southern. They've been wanting because he says some provoking things. Who's CW? Yeah, he might not be able to go to his biological dad. Jerry, thank you so much for becoming a member or renewing your membership. You'll be in the drawing for the gifts that we give away at the end of the month. That's so awesome, and I'm super excited for you. I will grab the crazy train to pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you for renewing your membership, Jerry. I really appreciate it. Okay, I hope it played the whole thing. And Jerry has also been a member for 5 months. Thank you so much for sharing that milestone with us, and thank you for the continued support. I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate the continued support. Thank you for being a member for 5 whole entire months, and thank you for sharing that milestone with us. I really appreciate that so much, my love. Thank you. It's good to see you, Mystic Firefly. I don't know if I said hey to you, love. I know I highlighted your comment, but I don't know if I said hey. So this talks about the United Cajun Navy found him. Breaking news, RJ Davis has been located. RJ is safe. He is sound. OSBI Chickasha police give an update, and we watched that presser. I don't have time to go back through it today. Here's that photo of him in the vehicle with, I think it is the, Lord have mercy, United Cajun Navy's vehicle. I think that was shortly after they found him. They were getting him buckled in so that they could get him to the hotel in Chickasha where he was Hopefully you can hear me. I don't know what just happened. Sorry about that. Let me try to pull this back up. My dang internet. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna grab this. Thank you.
It wasn't on the internet when you were live.
I'm still live. Thank you. Yes, I'm back, but only for a minute because so this was the photo of him. I think he's in the United Cajun Navy's the United Cajun Navy's vehicle shortly after he was found. Yeah, there you go. It's tempting. I don't know. All right. I'm going to try to move on with it. Hopefully it's, let me remove this banner too. Okay. Hopefully we are live and it's okay. So that's the photo of him in the vehicle being transported to the hotel, I do believe. And then I wanted to update you guys on Sebastian before it shut. We're looking for SF. We're back. Okay. Good. Hopefully we'll be back for just a second. Or, you know, enough time for me to talk to you guys about this before I have to go. Sorry about that. The process of getting Starlink, so hopefully it gets fixed. While we wait on that to load, I can probably go get Basil. Let's sing a song. We can all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. I don't know why it's doing this. I wanted to see if it loads a new tab any better. I hate this fucking internet. I can't wait till I get my damn Starlink. Like, it's freezing when I try to load comments too. This is insane. I'll try clicking on that and see if it works any better. Hold on. Make me big. Maybe. We'll see. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone because there is some kind of update from SF Investigates, and I'll get Basil before we leave for the day. My phone better. Phone's being slow too. Kumbaya. All right. It's loading on my phone better. Like, I had to unplug all the cameras and stuff to get everything to load. I'm just done with Verizon. I have the box in my house. And something happened with it yesterday and it went down, and like, look, I unplugged my cameras, but they're still on and connected. So maybe that's what it is. Hell if I know. Hold on. It's loading. I'm going to go grab Basil, I think. Wait, subscribers. Jenny's leaving now. Don't leave yet. Try it on here again too and see if it loads any faster. Husband Brendan, well, it just left. Rare shark attack. It's not loaded. And like, if I move from here or turn my Wi-Fi off on my phone, it won't load. We're out here in the sticks for real. Hopefully y'all can see Basil real quick. Hold on. What are you doing, fat boy? What are you doing, fat boy? What are you doing, fat boy? Where is Basil? Let me lay back so he'll sit more comfortable. Hi. Are you okay? He gets scared a little bit when I pick him up. See him so fat. I know you. I know you. I know you. I know you. Can you see him? It's like, put me down. Let me see if it's loading on my phone. He lets me kiss him. He used to give me kisses. He probably would if I put him on the bed. He don't like it when I pick him up. You see his little, like, under his chin, this, like, fluffy roll. Because he's fat boy. Mama, put you down. Now he's running around in my room. Hold on, let me move my gate so he can get out if he wants to. Well, let's see if this loaded. Nope, it's not loading. I had to move his gate so he can get out. I'm going to try see if I open up a tab real quick if it'll load, but if it won't, I'll just have to go for the day. You're on your way to me? I wish it worked that way. I do. Oh, it might be working on my computer now. Let me try to pull it up. Your internet's off too? Hopefully it's better than mine. Oh, SF investigates. Okay, maybe it's loading now. I'm looking on my phone and on the internet, so on here, trying to pull it up for you guys. Waiting on both platforms, the computer and the phone. You have to cross the Salish Sea, Abellis? The Rockies and the Plains? Oh, girl, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to read. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up here. Oh. Yep. Okay, we have it on here. Let me close it out of my phone. That way you can actually see it. Let me make it where you can see it now. All right. Before we go, I want to read this post to you from January 12th. It reads, this is from SF Investigates, the private eye that is working, or was working, is working, I'm not sure, on Sebastian's case. And it reads, recently, portions of a report from a search we conducted for Sebastian Rogers involving multiple HRD canine teams were leaked online. For the sake of transparency, I have decided to release the entire report. The search was conducted in April of 2025 and involved multiple highly accredited HRD canines and handlers from out of state who I retained at my discretion to assist in the search. We also coordinated with federal authorities who granted us permission and access to closed federal land and accompanied our search efforts. Once the 38-page report was completed, it was immediately provided to all law enforcement and emergency management agencies involved in the case. If you have questions regarding the report, please direct them to me. Do not contact the canine handlers. They were retained to conduct a professional search and generate a report for me, which they did. Due to our confidentiality agreement, they can only respond to me. They are professionals and are not accustomed to, nor should they be, subjected to the chaos and antics that some individuals have brought into this case. We have never stopped searching for Sebastian and never will. We have simply chosen not to publicly detail our ongoing efforts due to the actions of a small group of individuals whose behavior has caused harm and division in Sebastian's case. The full report is available at the Dropbox link attached. The only redactions made were the handlers' last names, phone numbers, and email addresses. While this information may be easy to find online, reposting it is not a flex or an act of investigation. It is a sign of disrespect and disregard for Sebastian and the professionals working to help bring him home. So we'll see if the Dropbox link loads. And y'all just saw how I got that, so you can get it. Hey, OG Earthy, good to see you. I hope he's found. I really do. So this was from April 18th of 2025. It gives background personnel, human remains detection, or HRD canines, search operations, retention pond 1, retention pond 2, retention pond 3, construction site, search operation, references. Area of interest indicated by canine 7. It's figure 1, south photograph. Okay. Left to north photograph, center east, center west. Photographs of baseballs, photographs of baseball on the slope of a hill. Unidentified waxy substance discovered in test vial from site 2. Photograph of ROV at the site of interest in Manser Creek, a trail leading from the embankment into the creek. Photograph of a search area above Old Hickory Dam West, Old Hickory, the same thing for East. Photograph of vultures above Old Hickory Dam. Non-human vertebrae, that means an animal bone. Still from ROV videos are the other images. To conduct a systematic human remains detection canine search across designated sites to identify potential human decomposition-related odor remains and to collect soil samples for chemical testing. Retention pond 1, the area was determined to be negative for human decomposition, odor, or remains. Retention pond 2 is the same, negative. Retention pond 3, negative. Construction site north of retention pond 3, the area was determined to be positive for human decomposition, odor, and potential remains. Manser Creek, the area was determined to be positive for human decomposition, odor, and potential remains. Army Corps of Engineers, Old Hickory Dam Northeast, the area was determined to be positive for human decomposition, odor. Hickory Dam Southwest, the area was determined to be negative for human decomp odor remains. And Cumberland River was also negative. Shifts region test soil, those were negative. FTIR to identify unknown substance in soil sample. There was an unknown substance in the soil sample from the construction site where they said human remains were detected. Hold on, let me put Basil back real quick. Hold on a minute, y'all. Okay. We got background. I'm not going to have time to read all this today. Maybe we should cover this tomorrow. Retention pond 3 was what was mentioned. Let's read that. The final retention pond was searched by Canine Spin, handled by Roy, the canine handler. Directed the canine to search along the perimeter of the retention pond, including the drainage port, and it gives the longitude and latitude. Canine spin did not indicate the presence of human remains. Canine spin was also directed to inspect the boots of Roy and Alex for presence of human decomp odor in the mud collected in their respective boots. Canine did not indicate the presence of human decomposition and has been concluded to be negative at that time. Fisher requested an inspection of the active construction site immediately north of Retention Pond 3 due to the increased noise and presence of the construction crew. The handler chose to search the drainage feeding into the pond. Canine team traversed the slope along the contour line, with the canine searching both uphill and downhill. At the end of the drainage, a fence line was encountered. Approximately 20 meters from the fence line, the canine exhibited a change in behavior, reducing her pace and tasting blades of grass. Typical indicators for human remain detective canines when searching in areas with low threshold odor. She was then directed to perform a detailed search between the slope and fence line, where several baseballs were observed. While her demeanor remained consistent, she continued to search. Canine alerted 2 separate locations within 1 to 2 meters of each other along the slope. The locations were marked as Site 1 and 2 for the Schiff's Regent soil test. Afterward, K9 was given a break for a rest. Upon returning to the area of interest, the wind conditions had changed and there was no observable wind presence in the area. The canine handler ensured ample space for them to work. She perceived detective behavior. The canine then showed strong indication to enter the private property immediately west of the area of interest. And the handler intervened, preventing her from continuing onto the private property. This is a south photograph of the area that was looked at. Y'all, tomorrow there's video. There's video of from way back with SF Investigates, like flying a drone over the construction site with Sebastian Rogers. And I think at the time this was just a big mound of dirt. And there was concern that the construction people had come in and moved the dirt like the next day. And it had possibly, like if Sebastian fell or something, the dirt might have covered him up. And I think the way this slope is, it could be that dirt that got moved the very next day. And people were concerned that Sebastian had gotten covered up. There's the dog alerting. So the area of interest indicated by canine spin, observable difference in vegetative growth between location of canine alert from the right south and remainder of landscape from the left north. So like over here, left north, you see how there's like green grass and stuff like that. And then over here, it's like barren and there's not a lot of grass and there's a lot of open patches that you just see mud. That's what he's talking about, and talking about how the dog located. Hey, Cracker Jacks, Fibbity Fooba Flap. Good to see you. We're going to have to go over this tomorrow. This is another area of interest located by K9. We're going to deep dive this tomorrow. Depicting the area of interest as indicated by the dog. Alerts were concentrated behind a single property where K9 attempted to access the yard through the fence, visible on the left. I don't know where the fence is, but the dog's trying to go into one of these properties, which at that time when Sebastian disappeared, I don't think those houses would have been there. Notable vegetative difference is present with reduced growth on both left and right sides of the area. This location corresponds to 2 alerts made to the canine, both indicating the potential presence of human decomp. And what he's talking about, you can see how the grass is all green and pretty on the sides, but this area is open and barren with rocks and lots of mud showing. And then there's some of the baseballs that were located in the area. This one in particular looks like it might have been there for a while. So if Sebastian went to that area and just threw the ball around and played a little bit, and then the construction sites came in the next morning, not knowing that he was there or fell asleep or anything, and they moved a pile of dirt, it could have fallen on top of him and nobody ever knew the difference. You know? Yeah, I really want to talk about it, but I would really love to talk about it. This is a photograph on the baseball on the slope of the hill in the front of the fence line where the canine performed an alert. I'm thinking though, if the baseballs are on top, that, I mean, they would have found Sebastian's body, because if the baseballs aren't buried, why would Sebastian's body be buried if the baseballs are not buried yet? Unless he like threw them and was far, I mean, he played with them, but wasn't playing with them at the time that he might have fallen asleep and dirt fell on top of him or something. Soil collected from approximately 4 inches down. And there it shows the soils. Soil samples were collected, processed, and analyzed following the procedures for the Schiff's Regent soil test. A colorimetric, its colorimetric method was used to visualize the presence of aldehydes in the soil, which are byproducts of tissue decomposition. When the reagent comes into contact with a sample containing aldehydes, it activates the fuchsia dye, resulting in a characteristic magenta or pink coloration that indicates a positive reaction. While the Schiff's test does not distinguish between human and animal decomp, a positive result suggests that the likelihood of a decomposition event happened. When interpreted in conjunction with alerts from human-specific or human remain detection canines, the presence of aldehydes strengthens the position that a human decomposition event may have occurred at the sampling site. So what he's saying is it turned that magenta or red color, right? And so this test is not differentiating whether it's like a deer tissue that's dead, like a deer, a possum, a raccoon, a rat, a rabbit, a bird, or if it's a human, a boy, a child, a man, a woman, or whatever, right? This soil test cannot tell you the difference between that. But when you combine the fact that this soil test gave the indications for the presence of what is found in decomposition tissue, and the dogs alerted at the site, and the dogs are trained to find specifically human decomposition tissues, then that tells you that an event happened where there either was somebody decomposing there or there still is somebody decomposing there. We're going to have to talk about this. Abella, thank you so much for gifting 10 Speculation Station memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that so very much. Thank you so much, Abella. You're so very sweet. Thank you. That was so sweet of you. I really appreciate that. I'm going to see if I can access the live to see who they went to. Oh, I might be able to. Yes, those went to Rachel, Anna Pekursky, Mayla's mom, Stay Low, Kim Beezy and the Heezy, Quinny, Boat McBodyface, IWB, Professor Crammett, Shelby Woo Woo, and blessed to be a mom of 3. If you guys were gifted from Abellis and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Abellis thank you. Thank you so much, Abellis, my love. And I will grab the Polar Express to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Abellis. Thank you so much, Abellis. I really appreciate that. And Karen has been a member for 8 months. Thank you so much for sharing that 8-month milestone with us today. One more month and we'll have a YouTube baby. thank you so much for the continued support. That was so very sweet of you to share that milestone with us. Let me get you a basil.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us today. All right, y'all, I'm going to have to go for the day. I do appreciate it. We will go over this report tomorrow. I'm going to upload the list of charges for RJ's parents on my Patreon, and I will try to upload this document from SF Investigates. I don't know if I'll be able to or not, but I will try, and we'll talk about this tomorrow. We'll actually go through this document and pull whatever resources we need to and whatever we can about it and see what we can find out. You can have custody of the baby. I would let you have custody of the baby. As long as you don't make me pay child support, you can have custody. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I am going to leave that pulled up on here just so we can access it easily. I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you, everyone, for the support. Thank you for being here. Jerry became a member, and Jerry has also been a member for 5 months. Abella's just gifted 10 membership. And Karen has been a member for 8 months. I appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out with me today as we finish up what we have so far on the RJ Davis case and talk briefly about Sebastian. We will continue to talk about Sebastian tomorrow and try to pull what information we can on SF Investigates document that he dropped and see what else he has to say about it. In the meantime, in between time, please stay safe out there. Please know that you are important, you are enough, you are special, and you are very loved. Thank you for being part of our speculating family, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.
I gotta tell you, there is something you should